Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Hyfi Preschool and Kids Weekly Training Podcast. We are so excited that you're tuning in this week. We are right in the middle of June, which, oh my goodness, how is it summer already? It's wild. But anyway, I'm loving it. I'm so excited about all the sunshine, all the things. Hopefully you and your kiddos are having so much fun this summer. And soaking in all of the rays. So hopefully you're enjoying that. I am joined with my amazing friends, Isaac Kierstead and Rachel Raquel-May. Hey, Rachel. Hey, Isaac. Thanks for joining in today.
Hey, we're so excited to be here.
Rachel, I know your kids are finally out of school. Are they just like pumped up about summertime right now?
Absolutely pumped up. And they just want to like travel and go do fun things and not be at home. Actually, I'm recording right now from DC. We took them this weekend to do some museums and fun stuff for summer.
That's amazing. Oh, I love that. All right. Well, listeners, we are going to jump in today and we're going to be talking about how God made us with value this week. So as you guys know, we are in the truth that for preschool, God made me special. And for kids, I am uniquely designed. And so this week we are leaning in to the story about how David was kind to Mephibosheth from 2 Samuel and really talking about value. And so that kind of sparked a question for me. And I'm really curious what y'all's answer might be. The question is, what do you value most? Not people, not Sunday school answer. Like, what is your most prized possession that you would be really sad to not have in your life?
I was going to say Jesus, but you said no. I'm not allowed to say that.
No Sunday school answers. Come on, Isaac.
All right. Well, here, I'll go first. So, one thing that my dad actually got me a few years ago, it was more than a few years ago, but it was my 25th birthday. And I have it with me. I will explain it for the podcast. It is like this multi-tool that my dad got at this antique store. I don't think it's actually an antique. I just think it's old and it's been through life. And it's like this multi-tool thing. And he wrote a little tag, and on the side it says the most useful tool to God is a humble man. And he wrote like 20 Bible verses on the back of this little card. And it was just one of those random things that my dad gave me for my 25th birthday and had my like sister sign it. And it was just one of those random things. But I've kept it, and it's now been like coming up on my 30th birthday. And now I've had it for a while, and it always sits on my bookshelf and it's always right there behind me. It's a great reminder that my dad cares for me, and just that great reminder of like, I want to be used by God.
Oh man. Isaac's tugging our heartstrings today. That's so sweet. I love that. I love that you keep that and that it was such a sweet memory with you and your dad. That's really cool. Which, announcement, friends, you still have one more week before Father's Day. So if you have not gotten that card or gotten that gift in the mail to your dad or to the dad figure in your life who has been influential in your life, here's your reminder. You have 1 week. So, all right, Rachel.
Probably my engagement ring. It was my grandmother's. My grandfather gave it to her when they got engaged, and my mom wore it for much of my childhood. And so I can remember like playing with it on her finger and just loving it. And so then when my husband proposed to me, he got that ring from my parents, and so it's the one that I wear now.
Oh, I love that.
That's really
so
cool.
That's amazing,
So
man. You guys have such good answers.
All right, Kayla, what do you got?
I don't even need to share. I don't have anything as good as that. My goodness. Like, amazing engagement ring, incredible, thoughtful gift from dad. Man. All right, I'm going to go in a different direction since you guys both went really like it's on the money, most prized possession. I am going to share with you guys the thing that in my adulthood, I have found one of the things I have found the most useful and the most helpful in life. So I can't say it's a prized possession of like the most valuable thing I own, but it is definitely something that as an adult, I'm very grateful for. Um, and that is my AirPods. I don't know who loves AirPods, who doesn't love AirPods. That whole like noise cancellation thing that happens, it's just magical for adulthood. That whole like just like anxiety prone, all the noise that happens that you can just put in some AirPods and it just goes away. Like it's the best. It's so amazing. I'm really ready for the cicadas to die. I live in Middle Tennessee, you guys, and so they are deafening and horrible. And I'm really ready for them to be gone. And a few weeks ago, I was out walking, and I was like, I just want to walk and enjoy nature, and I can't because of all these cicadas. And so I just put my AirPods in, and it immediately like made everything quiet. And it was just an adult's like, man, I'm so glad I have this in life that I wouldn't have known or enjoyed or cared about as a kid. So yeah, there you go. All right. Well, thanks for indulging us in that. I hope you guys are also thinking about your most prized possession, something that has value or meaning, something that you love and care about, because that is what we're talking about this week. We're talking about value. What does it mean that God made us with value? And we're looking at a story that most often, I shouldn't say most often, oftentimes, in churches, we see this story, and it's mostly used to talk about kindness, and that's the story of David and Mephibosheth. And so you guys know, like David is king; he's an adult. Saul and Jonathan have passed away, and he's looking for someone in Saul's family to honor. And he finds out about Mephibosheth and finds out about his story. And shows him kindness in a really generous way. And so this is a story. This is a great story to teach about kindness, but we're also going to kind of go a little bit deeper and talk about value with this story, about how God makes us with value. So Rachel, I'd love for you to answer this first question. And it's really just help us as we're kind of preparing for Sunday to think about how can this Bible story really help our kids and our preschoolers that we're teaching this week? How can it help them understand that God made us with value?
Yeah, I think this story is an incredible story to look a little deeper into value, because David showed kindness to Mephibosheth, and that's amazing. But we're going to dig a little deeper, look a little bit further under the surface, and see that David showed kindness to Mephibosheth, not just because he wanted to be nice or do something kind, but because Mephibosheth has value and had value, and he was made in the image of God, and that God loved him. And so it's so much more than just saying a kind word to someone or helping a friend in need, but we can be kind and we can help people and we can care and love people because they have value, because God made them and designed them. And so they're valued by God, and so they're valued by us. And so I think it's really an incredible story to think about everyone having value because of God and how he made them, but also how we can honor and value others as well. And so it's not just to be kind and smile at them, but it's to really see that image of God in them.
I love that, because so often when we look at Bible stories, we open up the Bible and we treat it like a yearbook, right? Like, let me find me, let me learn about me. And I love what you just said there, because it's really kind of flipping that to not to say, hey, you're like Mephibosheth, in the sense that, there's someone out here who we are teaching like God values you, but let's also look at it from the perspective of David. Like, David valued Mephibosheth. He saw his worth. He saw his value because he was made in God's image. And just like we are valued by God, we can also look around at all the people that God made, all of the people that he uniquely designed and created and made special, and say, you are valued by God too. I see you, I recognize you, I know you. So yeah, that's really cool. Thanks for sharing that. All right, Isaac, let's turn our attention a little bit to Gen Alpha in particular.
Mhm.
We talk a lot on this podcast about generational things, generational changes, what's different between Gen X and millennials and Gen Alpha and Gen Z. What is it about this idea that God made us with value that particularly for Gen Z, I'm sorry, for Gen
Mhm.
Alpha, is really important?
Well, I think one of the first things that we have to look at is where are they defining their value? Where is this generation defining their value? And so many times the world is saying, you get to define it yourself. You get to choose your identity. Be who you want to be. So, first off, they are kind of like given this task of discovering their own identity, who they are. But then there's also the flip side of that, where if they choose an identity that the world doesn't like, the world says, no, you can't be that. That's not the identity that is meant for you. So they're really stuck in this cultural place where, hey, I have the responsibility to choose my identity, but if it doesn't conform to what everyone else is saying, then I'm going to be canceled. I'm going to be sent out, all this stuff. But when we get to look at God's plan for our lives, that He made us with this intrinsic value because we were made in His image, when we get to teach kids that they were made with value, not because of who they choose to be, but who God made them to be, and that their value comes from being made in the image of God, from being created by God, from being uniquely designed by God, they will begin to understand that, hey, I don't have to look inside myself for value. I don't have to look at my friend group for reassurance of my value, but instead I can know that God made me and that I am special to Him. And that's a growing process. That's not something that kids are going to come in this Sunday and say, hey, I'm struggling with this, and leave at the end of Sunday or Wednesday night and suddenly figure it all out. It's a step-by-step process. But we're hoping that with this story of Mephibosheth, as we get to go through this whole truth of being uniquely designed and made special by God, we can help share with these kids that they have value to God because God made them.
That's so cool. I love this story. And one of the reasons I love it is because exactly what you were saying is that we have this really cool opportunity, particularly with this generation, of really sharing that their value is not what they say their value is. Their value is not attached to their performance. Their value is not attached to their family. It's not attached to anything other than who God has already said that they are, which I think is really valuable and important because this story also has a unique opportunity for us to talk about children or adults who have special needs or who have disabilities. Maybe those are physical, or maybe those are hidden disabilities or hidden needs. And so there's also some really cool opportunity here for us really to lean in and talk about all people are made with value, the very young, the very old, which is sometimes not seen in the same way or spoken about in the same way in our culture. And so to both of you guys, what are some ways that we can really be encouraging and be sensitive this week, and really every week that we teach, we always want to be thinking about how we are including every kind of child in our ministries. What are some ways that we could be encouraging to parents or to kids, or in the ways that we are talking with children about some kind of disability? How can that be encouraging this week?
I think that for one thing, from a leader perspective, it's um, asking how we can help that family, asking what that child individually needs that day, and being open to be flexible and to be welcoming, for whatever that need may be for the day, and not just kind of a rigid outlook of, oh, you needed this one day, so we're going to keep doing this the exact same way every time. But instead, every single time they enter our ministries, being open and looking with new eyes. What do you need today? How can we serve you? How can we love you? How can we bring you in? And how can we help you belong? And I think even thinking about that from Hyfi and a Hyfi perspective is one thing we're trying to do, and you'll see in Hyfi preschool, is we're trying to think through with different activities and how can this activity be done in a variety of ways? How can we adapt this activity so that everyone can participate no matter what need they may have? And so just trying to be open and to create opportunities for everyone to participate, I think is really helpful.
Yeah, I think exactly what Rachel said. I think as these kids and preschoolers are looking for a place where they belong, and a lot of places it feels like because of stuff that they're going through, because of some things that they can or can't do, that it feels like may feel like an outsider. But one thing that we want to do with Hyfi is we want them to have a place where we can create true belonging, where they can understand that, hey, this is a place where you can participate, where you can have fun, where we aren't going to look at what maybe everyone else sees, but we're going to see what God sees, and we're going to look at the heart. And I think that's a really fun thing that we get to do. There's some kids in my ministry that have some special needs, and that every week we're trying to figure out, hey, how can we best serve you? Just like Rachel said, that's such a good starting question. How can we serve you this week? And then once they are in there, once they're participating, we get to look and see, hey, God has given them an amazing heart. And one of the little girls loves to sing. That's in my ministry. She loves to sing. And so we get to have her right front and center every time we do worship on a Sunday morning. And she sits in preschool and kids for worship because she loves it so much. And that's actually just how she praises God. And she sings and she dances. And it's so beautiful to see because that's what she loves to do. That's what she enjoys doing. And that's where she gets to participate the best. So finding places where, finding ways that we can help them each week, but then finding what their heart loves and what God has made them to, how God has made them to worship him in a very amazing and special way.
Those are both such amazing solutions, and what sweet opportunities that we have as ministry leaders to really minister to the whole family. I love that question, Rachel, of saying, hey, what does so-and-so need today? And not assuming that it's the same answer as it was last week or 2 weeks ago or the last time that they were in our ministries. And then also really finding those things that the Lord has made unique and special in each and every child, and being able to celebrate those things and call those things out and celebrate that with them. Just great opportunities that we get to serve every kind of kid and every kind of family that comes into our ministry. Listeners, if you are not aware, Lifeway has an amazing website called lifeway.com/special needs. So if you are just wanting some more information about this topic in particular, or just ways that you can talk with your ministry leaders or your volunteers, or just anything that you want around this particular topic, really encourage you to check out that website. Again, it's lifeway.com/special needs. And we are really looking forward to this coming week and how the Lord is just going to be using and working in the lives of your kids and your preschoolers. And we're just, every week, it's just such a gift and such a joy to be able to come and to serve and to really teach kids and preschoolers the true joy of knowing Jesus. And so we are praying for you guys as you are preparing to lead this Sunday. Also, just as a reminder, I know we kind of did a little bit of a call out at the beginning of the episode, but next week is Father's Day. And so you will notice in your sessions as you lead that there's an optional Father's Day craft, both for preschool and for kids, with a little sample there. So if that's something that you want to emphasize next week, then we have provided some opportunity for you to do that as well. Well, as always, we are so thankful for you guys. We're thankful for your ministries, for the ways that you lead, and for the work that God is doing in and through you. So we can't wait to hear about the stories that you are experiencing, the ways that God is moving and working. And we look forward to talking with you and hearing what the Lord is doing in your life. All right. Well, until next time, we will catch you later.